Chicago and the Philippines. A comprehensive review of the week's special community events, featuring many exciting personalities, handled by the most professional Chicago Philippine Reports TV staff.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Chicago Philippine Reports TV, still the #1 Filipino show in the Midwest. I'm Gurley Pascual. Welcome to our show. Today we have all the top stories from the Philippines. We also have what's happening in our own Filipino-American community of Chicago. We have interesting interviews led by our very own executive producer, Miss Veronica Layton. We have Bridget Cotero Carino. All these are coming up and more afterward from our sponsors. Please stay with us.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 901-245-4874. That's 901-245-4874. 901-245-4874. That's 901-245-4874.
Not a loss. This was how former Executive Secretary Victor Rodriguez described his expulsion as a member and the Executive Vice President of the Partido Federal ng Pilipinas, the political party of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Rodriguez, who at one time was Marcos's Executive Secretary, believes he was expelled because he refused to endorse party members who want positions in government, including the Commission on Elections and the Commission on Audit. He also pointed out the president is the appointing authority, not him.
Kung hindi naman qualified yung humihingi ng appointment, bakit ko naman sususugan yung kanilang aplikasyon? Kaya sinasabi nila, disloyal ako. Okay lang sa akin yun. I'm happy being disloyal because I'd rather be faithful and loyal anytime, any given time, to the 31.6 million Filipinos who voted for President Bongbong Marcos rather than pagbigyan ng kapritsyo ng isang partido o ng ilang mga opisyal nito.
Rodriguez adds this matter could have been handled internally but it was released to the media, which means the party wants to humiliate him in public.
Kaya lang, ginamit nila yung naging decision nila at instead na ako ang bigyan ng kopya, binigyan ng media. Anong layunin? Hiyain lamang ako. Hindi ko maintindihan bakit yung simpleng reorganization ng isang kaliit-liit na partido kinakailangan pang ipadala ng kopya sa media.
In its decision, the PFP said Rodriguez was removed because of his incompetence and abuse of trust and confidence given to him by the president and the party. The PFP adds, despite his crucial position, no party member was appointed to any position in the government, and instead, those less qualified, known to be corrupt, and with shady reputations were favored in the appointment or reappointments.
Unang-una, siya po nagpahiya sa aming Partido Federal ng Pilipinas. At dito sa bansang ito, we have free speech here. It is guaranteed by the Constitution. At hindi naman sa kaya ikutsain Dapat sagutin niya kung talagang siya'y walang sala. Wala akong hinihinging posisyon sa kanila. Kung sino man yung kausap niya at sila mag-usap, siguro magkaibigan sila
The party has chosen to replace Rodriguez with Special Assistant to the President, Anton Lagdameo. Meanwhile, Rodriguez's successor, former Supreme Court Justice Lucas Bersamin, told the Commission on Appointments President Marcos Jr. is careful in appointing government officials in key positions. This includes the Agriculture Department, which is currently being headed by Marcos Jr. himself.
The conviction of a Caloocan cop for abuses committed in the Duterte administration's bloody drug war is proof that the Philippines does not tolerate impunity. That's according to Justice Secretary Jesus Remulla.
We do not want impunity to rule in our country, so we don't want impunity. We will never succumb to impunity. All of these forces have to deal with the consequences of all their actions.
But a coalition of human rights defenders stresses this is just a drop in the bucket in the thousands of deaths in Duterte's war on drugs.
We look back to the number of cases of extrajudicial killings in relation to the drug war, no? And police operations, 6,000 plus ang namatay. And you have about 30,000 supposedly killed, including those which are not during police operation. We're talking about thousands, so many thousands of families are waiting for justice.
Policeman Jeffrey Perez was found guilty of torturing teenage drug suspects Carl Arnaiz and Reynaldo de Guzman. He was also convicted for planting a gun and sachets of shabu and marijuana on Arnaiz. The two teenagers went missing on August 17, 2017. Arnaiz's body was later found on August 28 in a funeral parlor in Caloocan City with several gunshot wounds. Meanwhile, de Guzman was found a month later in a creek in Nueva Ecija with over 24 stab wounds. Perez was said to have admitted to shooting Arnaiz but justified the killing as a legitimate police operation. The Caloocan court sided with the statements of witnesses, saying Arnaiz kneeled down, raised his hands with handcuffs, and shouted that he would surrender before he was shot. The court sentenced Perez to life in prison and ordered him to pay 2 million pesos in damages to the families of the teens. According to Public Attorney's Office Chief Presida Acosta, the relatives of the victims are happy with the court's ruling. Acosta handled the cases.
They're very happy for the outcome of this case and thankful to the Philippine government through the DOJ or Department of Justice that they were placed into the witness protection program systems of our DOJ.
The Philippine National Police says it respects the court's ruling, which adds was a result of a fair, full-blown trial. But the PNP insists any acts committed by erring cops does not reflect the views of the whole organization.
Yan! Dito na! Perfect!
The new Bilibid prison is supposed to hold persons deprived of liberty, but a new discovery shows this jail facility is also home to domesticated animals. Bureau of Corrections Officer in Charge, General Gregorio Pio Katapang Jr. says several horses were found in a minimum security compound and one stallion in the agriculture area. Katapang says this is clearly illegal, especially since the animals are being cared for by inmates using government resources. The discovery of assorted animals inside the NBP has prompted Katapang to crack a joke.
Parang, ano ba tawag dyan? Believe it or not.
When asked why horses are needed inside the facility.
Anong gamit ng kabayo para saan po?
Dito lang sir sa Bucor, kung sakaling may emergency, masakyan nila.
Hindi ka naman kailangan maggamit ng kabayo para umikot dahil sementado naman yung mga karsada namin. Hindi naman ito mountain area.
There are also a number of roosters and what seems to be game cocks. But the Bucor employee who claimed to own them says they're not used for cockfighting.
Saan po galing yung mga pangsapong sir?
Hindi, yung ano lang yan, yung mga tandan lang yan. Ano lang yan, binili ko lang yan. Oo.
Kayo po mismo may-ari?
Opo sir.
Paano nyo po ito ginagamit sir? Para saan?
Yan, sir, yan lang kasi, napulot ko lang kasi diyan sa kabila. Yung mga sinasabing mga illegal settlers.
Whatever the case, Katapang maintains it is still illegal.
Of course, illegal yan o improper kasi personal mo, bakit mo dinadala dito tapos aalagaan ng mga inmates o mga kahit mga Bucor personnel.
A python is also being kept at the building in the director's quarter. While personnel from the Environment Department failed to verify this, a snake skin can be seen at the building's basement. The new Bucor leadership says it will investigate how the animals were brought in and who could be held liable. This is just one of the many irregularities inside the jail facility. Earlier, Katapang announced the discovery of a massive pit and tunnel inside the NBP premises. Former Justice Secretary and now Solicitor General Minardo Guevara has denied knowledge about the excavation. The digging allegedly started during Guevara's time under the Duterte administration. Guevara said he was not informed and that the Bureau of Corrections did not seek authorization. Suspended Bucor Chief Gerald Bantag justified the massive pit, saying he intended to build a deep swimming pool which he can use since he is a scuba diver. But an inmate pointed out he's never seen Bantag swimming even though there is a huge swimming pool in the director's quarter.
Sira nga yung dive, hindi nga niya pinagawa, sir. Paano siya magsiswimming? Sira, wala pa man siya napagawa dyan sa swimming pool na yan simula nung umupo siya.
Katapang vows to uncover other anomalies and promised to implement reforms at the National Penitentiary.
Via Times, vital news, vibrant views for the Filipino Asian communities in Chicago. Via Times for your most interesting and exciting reading and your party coverages. Via Time has very interesting columnists. You name it, Via Times has it. Law, Filipino news, dentistry, immigration, humor, serious opinions, health, beauty, mysticism, Bata Corner, showbiz, and intelligently written editorials. Call Via Times at 773-866-0811.
Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat and welcome to Veronica's segment of the show. Today, I have a very interesting person who is also knowledgeable about our favorite topic these days, about COVID-19. And her name is Dr. Geraldine Luna. Welcome to our show, Dr. Geraldine Luna. And Dr. Luna is the medical director with the Chicago Department of Public Health. Is that right, Dr. Luna?
Yes. Thank you for inviting me, Veronica. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Great. Same here. I'm really honored to have you here on our show. And first thing, Dr. Luna, being a very knowledgeable person on the topic of COVID-19, she will give us some updates and some concerns that still exist in our midst. And help me welcome Dr. Luna. First things first. Okay, about COVID-19. Well, there are so many concerns actually. And one of these is what we call Chicago authorities, health authorities, classified the current COVID scare as medium. What does that mean, Dr. Luna?
Yes, Veronica, and being medium risk or medium community level risk of COVID-19 means that we now are facing a different chance of getting COVID-19. It's higher in our community. So all those vigilance, preventative changes a little bit and the language around a couple of things that we do so that the behavior is appropriate to avoid getting COVID-19. First thing first, the metric in which we got to medium risk is different from the ones that we have been using in the past, which is not cases anymore. We're talking about new admissions, and new admissions increased 10%, and that means that our system is being stressed out, and that's not good because it means that people that are going to the hospitals with COVID-19 are more sick than what we've seen in the past, and that's one of the reasons that now we're having more new admissions. So that is one thing to take into account, just to be safe and to continue to be able to be without COVID-19. Remember, now we have to stay up to date in the vaccine. So one of the vaccines that we have is the updated booster, which unfortunately our population is not that good at getting that vaccine. Only in Chicago, only the community, 17% of all our population has gotten COVID-19 booster. We're talking about the actual bivalent booster. So we encourage highly stay up to date. Use your mask. If you're having symptoms, stay home. Don't go, don't congregate because the chances of spreading the disease is higher if we do. Get tested if you're having symptoms. And if you're experiencing COVID-19 or you have a positive test of COVID-19, stay home and start isolation for 5 days. Remember, after your if you are fever free for more than 24 hours, then you can leave the isolation by day number 6 using your mask to complete 10 days of isolation with masking. Another important thing is that we have in our community is that try to do activities outdoors. If you're indoors, remember, wear your mask. If you have risk of getting highly infected, wear your mask when you're using public transportation, when you're traveling, when you're public indoor spaces, wear a mask at all times. And the other important thing is that if you're suffering COVID-19, you might be a candidate to get treatments. Treatments do the difference between getting severely ill, decreases the course of the disease, decreases hospitalization, and decreases death. So in our case, call your doctor. And if you don't have a doctor, call the Chicago Department of Public Health at 312-746-4835. We might be able to connect you. Of course, we will connect you to a medical doctor, and you may be a candidate to get those treatments and prevent yourself from enduring the severe disease of COVID-19.
So, Dr. Luna, the observance of hand washing and 6 feet distancing should also must be observed by us.
Yes, 6 feet distance is always a preventative that you use, especially when you are not masking. But, in order to keep yourself away from others and avoid the spread of the disease. But we know there are more cases, those 6 feet distance and congregate settings when you're indoors, when you're shopping is very difficult to complete. So we highly recommend that you wear a mask. Masks are highly recommended in this time of a year that we are a medium risk of community level of COVID-19. So wear your mask. Of course, hand washing, frequent hand washing, highly recommending respiratory hygiene, which is when you cough, try to cover your mouth with your elbow, parts of your arm. Don't use your hands because it's easier to transmit the disease if you do it like that. And remember that if you have like public spaces that you're sharing or going to public spaces, try to sanitize those public spaces, those frequently also throughout the day to avoid that individuals carry the germs of COVID-19 around to other places, including their homes.
With winter upon us, it's here now. Is the Department of Public Health expecting a surge in COVID-19 for winter?
Yes, unfortunately, it's exactly what we're seeing right now. We're already surging in a couple of those respiratory infections, and we call it the tridemic. That's the way that publicly it's been called, especially in media and for the public to understand what's going on. We're talking about other respiratory diseases as well, not only COVID-19. We already have RSV, which is a respiratory syncytial virus already surging, and we see that our children hospital system is already at risk. It's already stressed out. We're in the midst of an emergency right now. So we're making everything possible to preserve those hospitals bed, and we're asking individuals to get vaccinated for those preventable diseases. Which are those preventable diseases? Unfortunately, is not the respiratory syncytial virus. We're talking about COVID-19 and we're talking about influenza. We already started influenza season. We're already seeing how the southeast of our country is being ravaged by this disease, and it's moving very quickly. We already have it here in Chicago. We're moving very quickly from medium risk. We're moving to high risk, and we're expecting this year's surge of influenza virus to be the worst in the past 5 years, as the southern hemisphere of the globe has seen it. Australia, for example, saw the worst cases of influenza from this past 5 years occurring this season. So Chicago is expecting the worst of that. And unfortunately, let me tell you that our water system, the vigilance that we already have, our surveillance systems and wastewater are catching and registering the highest level of community of the load of the virus happening in our water system. And this is the great news about using the system, is that you don't need to test everybody. You already know, because the wastewater carries a certain number, a certain amount of the virus in the wastewater that we can account for those individuals that we're not directly testing. And it's the worst. So what happens next? 2 weeks after, we know that we're surging incredibly high. The projections are that we're going to be moving to high risk and community levels anytime next week. So folks, we have to be prepared. This is not a joke. These viruses are terrible, and they're happening. And we're calling it the tridemic because both of the three of them are endemic to the United States of America.
So what can you say about our water? What can people do about their water?
About working? Like the working environment?
The water. About our
the water. Yes, the wastewater. Yeah, this is something that it's fairly new. We started with our wastewater surveillance system for COVID-19. A year and a half ago, we have been perfecting the system, and now we're counting on those, especially because most of the people do their testing at home. We have those over-the-counter antigen testing, rapid testing that people do at home, and then it's very difficult to track everybody. Like it's really getting infected with COVID-19. By using this water system, that surveilling systems in wastewater, we can measure the viral load that we get in the water, and it's a very unique way to do it. United States, other countries are doing it as well, and it's a way to give us a hint of what's coming. It can predict the surge up to 2 weeks before the surge even happens. And this is exactly what we're seeing in Chicago. So just to let everybody know, the most important thing and the tool that we can use to combat these diseases is those that prevent the diseases from happening. So vaccinated against COVID-19, vaccinated against influenza, they are of the utmost importance right now. They're paramount for us to get over the season the safest way possible. And we have a lot of ways that you can get the vaccine. We want to share that information as well.
About the vaccination, how often do people have to do it? Do they have to do it annually or 2 times a year, or how many times?
Yes, and the vaccination, unfortunately, the virus, COVID-19 mutates so quickly. At the day, as up to date, we're talking about today, which is November the 18th, we have seen more than 3,750 mutations from the Wuhan version of COVID-19 to the Omicron version that we have right now with the sublineages that we are already seeing. And because it has changed so much, also the protection of the vaccine has decreased when it talked about avoiding infections, protecting against infections and reinfection. And this is something that we have seen particularly with COVID-19. But now that we have the bivalent, we hope that this can be, a yearly or maybe the last vaccine that we take, because we know and we have seen by studies that the protection that this new vaccine offers, which is 99.9 concordant with the viruses that we're seeing right now. We're talking about BA4, BA5, and their sublineages. It's completely covered by this vaccine. So that's the importance of keeping yourself up to date with boosters, so that your prime immune system now gets another view, another information, and then it broadens the immunization of your body. It makes it last longer, and it can even anticipate future subvariants or future variants coming our way, because we're doing it based on what is 100% the dominant circulating virus that we have right now, which is COVID-19, and its recent variants.
Well, there is a particular sector in our community which is called the Latinx community with supposedly have a very low vaccine rate. Why is that?
Unfortunately, is it we see there is a different components. There's nothing. There's not only one explanation, but we know there is a couple of things that, based on our surveys, based on the questions that we've been asking the population, what keeps individuals from getting their booster vaccines or any COVID vaccine for that matter? And it's a couple of things. We already know that we have structural barriers, and the city is tackling those by having canvassers knocking on doors, making sure that even those individuals in the most remote communities without proper communication or effective tools, internet connectivity, not even phone number, gets the information in the proper way. We have promotoras de salud helping also with that component of structural barriers, which is access to care. Not everybody has access to care, and we know it in our segregated and marginalized community, including Latinx community and African American. Another thing that we have noticed is hesitancy. The trust, the confidence on getting the vaccine sometimes is not the best, especially with this other social platforms is spreading different information, misinforming the population or misinterpretation of the information. So getting the information from quality places, authorities that give the right information sometimes is being impaired and hampered by the work of the social networks and the way that we manage information virtually nowadays. And we know that people just don't get the vaccines information from the news, they get it from all over. So that is another thing that it's not helping with our communities, creating mistrust, creating hesitancy, and giving the wrong information that keeps individuals from getting the vaccine. And the other thing is that people get the vaccines from doctors, but not everybody is connected to a medical home. And we know that we've seen that in our undocumented community, we've seen it in our refugee community, and those that don't have medical insurance. So that is a population that we're making sure that information is going to the communities most highly devastated by COVID-19 with the lower vaccination rate, because this is the communities that need to be connected with the right information and create those trusted relationship, those trusted and transformative relationship. And for that, we need collaborative effort from our community-based organization, from our community organizers, from our elected aldermen, from congressmen, from our mayor, and we're getting a lot of that. But the most important piece here, the family, if you're listening to this conversation right now, is you. You have to advocate for yourself too. Make sure the information that you're getting are from the right sources. Vaccine, we have given more than 600 billion vaccine global wide. So these, we're talking about amazing amount of individuals around the country, around the world getting the vaccine in a safe and effective manner. Vaccines save lives.
All right. One final question. Regarding our Asian American community here in Chicago, would you have some data on how the population reacts regarding the vaccine?
Well, unfortunately, we do have Asian information, and it's not looking the way that we would have loved. We have had historically during this pandemic, at the beginning, all our ethnicities very hesitant to getting the vaccine, but then we saw our Asian community taking the lead on vaccination, even doing better than white individuals in vaccine coverage. However, with this new bivalent booster, it is not looking like that. 8% of our Asian community has received the booster, the new one, the bivalent booster, which is not protective. We would expect that at this point, we would have seen more of our Asian community getting that vaccine, like Asian members, but we haven't. And this is an important thing that we're observing, this disparity in eligible population, Latinx community, Black non-Latinx, and Asian non-Latinx community are not getting their updated vaccine booster, which we're talking about the bivalent. That bivalent booster is very important together. Get it. If you haven't received any boosters after Labor Day, then it means that you're not updated. It's as simple as that. We're using that corner mark here, that earmark, or for individuals to understand the vaccines were made available after Labor Day. And if you haven't received that booster, you're not updated. Please go to your doctors, pharmacies, come to the city. We have so many opportunities. We have the family vaccine clinics. We have Protect Chicago Plus that goes for free to your house and vaccinates up to 10 individuals, completely free, no questions asked, no ID, governmental ID, no insurance, health insurance required. This is a free initiative so far. Remember, family, we're moving to commercializing. Unfortunately, pharmaceutical companies are commercializing the vaccine, and it's not going to be for free, forever. And in 2023, the commercialization of the vaccines are going to start. This is the chance, and we're ahead of the surges that are coming now in winter. So this is the chance. It takes 2 weeks to get that immune system completely boosted with the vaccine and working at its max protection. So let's get it done so we can head to the festivities in the safest manner, protecting ourselves, protecting our loved ones, and protecting our communities.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Luna. That was really very interesting. A real good update to our viewers out there and to our community. And we really appreciate your gracing our show today, Dr. Luna. And any more updates in the future, just give us a call. And we are happy to have you in our show. And thank you. Maraming salamat. Thank you. That means thank you in our language for appearing in our show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. And it's always a pleasure to serve. It's big hugs. Everybody, please get blessings. And thank you for having me on your show. And remember, please, without help, we're nothing. So this is the most important thing. And that's the greatest gift of the holidays that you can give yourself and your family.
All right. For the holidays, many of you who are watching the show, you get yourself masked and vaccinated. Right, Dr. Luna?
Yes, and wash your hands and put your masking is one of the most important things. But the most important thing is get vaccinated. A lot of love sending your way.
Very good. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
US Med, a trusted supplier of diabetes equipment for nearly 30 years, has great news for people living with diabetes and the pain of regular testing. The days of repeated, painful finger sticks are over. Now you can wear a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, and eliminate routine finger sticks. If you use insulin daily to manage your condition, a continuous glucose monitor could help you control your diabetes and reduce or eliminate those painful finger sticks. If you have Medicare or private insurance, US Med can deliver a CGM system right to your door. And if you qualify, there may be little or no cost to you. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurer directly. Don't spend one more painful day testing your blood sugar. Call now to get your continuous glucose monitoring system so you can take control of your diabetes and get back to enjoying life.
Call US Med now.
Good afternoon. Well, actually, good morning. Doc Wilson, I'm sure, has been on the road pretty early this morning.
Yeah.
Trying to invite all of you to please vote for him. We need a new mayor of Chicago. And I've interviewed this man before, and he's very, very close to the Filipino-American community. So, Doc, welcome back to the show, Chicago Philippine Reports TV. So, before you weren't running, and now you are. What do you have planned for the city of Chicago that we know will benefit our residents
Well, today I'm not running for mayor at the moment. I'm doing the foundation for Thanksgiving.
Oh, you are? Okay.
So as we are doing a non-for-profit for Thanksgiving, this is a time of giving and being grateful.
Yes, it is.
And after this time here, then later on we'll be back out on the trail tomorrow and next day. But today we set aside this year for what the Lord have blessed us for the whole year. And so we got 20-some service stations today. We have about 12 grocery places and seafood city here.
Yes.
And we just been able to come out and help and want to continue to do this.
You know what? I apologize, and I'm touched actually, and that's really heartwarming to hear. You know, somebody who is running later on. Today is here to give thanks and of course to share what he has to the people who need it. I mean, that gift card will go a long way to some unfortunate families who probably cannot afford a proper Thanksgiving. So from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you. That's really touching. So that just shows you the kind of person he is, and for that, thank you so much, Dr. Wilson. And please, after Thanksgiving, keep him in mind. We do need a new mayor, so here I go back campaigning for you, and we'd love to see you again sometime.
It will. The holidays coming up for Christmas.
Okay.
Coming up, you got New Year's coming up, and their food prices, as you know, is 20 to 30% higher. And we want to get out here and share some of the blessing that the Lord have given us.
And just a reminder, he used to give away free gas. Remember that? And now it's free food. Oh my goodness.
Free gas. We're actually doing that today. We got 20-some service stations today of free gas.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so there you have it. Please remember, Dr. Wilson all the way. I'm Maria Gurley Pascual. Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you back here in studio. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you.
Good morning. Welcome back. We are here at Seafood City with none other than the crew behind our soon-to-be Mayor Wilson, Dr. Wilson. And I have the pleasure of seeing again Commissioner Boykin, who's also here supporting Doc Wilson. And we have our store manager of Seafood.
I'm the store manager of Seafood City Supermarket.
And of
welcome,
course,
everyone.
Oh, welcome. And we have the beautiful Jennifer.
Jocelyn.
I'm sorry.
Leader. I help coordinate the grocery giveaway specifically for the Filipino community here at Seafood City.
Yes. And
this is our third time here, by the way.
I know. We missed 2 times because Veronica was here.
Yes.
So I'm happy to see all of you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays.
Yes, happy holidays. So let's start with you, Commissioner. What do you see? I know we're doing the Thanksgiving show. That's what Dr. Wilson said. But apart from that, what do you guys hope to tell the Chicago people who are here today?
Look, I want to thank Dr. Wilson for his generosity through his foundation. I want to thank Mr. Rabaya. I want to thank Sol and Jocelyn Nieder for organizing this important activity. Look, the need is great. We saw so many people in line who actually need help with food. With costs rising due to inflation, gasoline prices going up, Dr. Wilson wanted to do something to help people for Thanksgiving. Look, we did 21 gas stations today where people got $50 in free gas, and we did 6 grocery stores today, and so where people
and
got
I'm sure
$25.
you're not done.
We're
It's
not
early
done.
in the day.
Yeah, we got more work to do. But the good news is that we love Seafood City.
Yes.
We love the Filipino people, and we're so excited to be a part of this.
And the Filipino people
Yes,
love you.
mabuhay.
And Manager Sol, what do
Yeah.
you have to say to the people who are here today?
Yeah, we are thankful for those who come in as early as 6:30, even if it's cold. They come here to see Dr. Wilson's generosity, and we're very thankful, and we always appreciate the help of Dr. Willow Wilson's group. Welcome
Don't
to Seafood
forget,
City.
Yeah, Dr. Wilson. And Jocelyn, any words for the people who came here today?
Well, I'm just really glad that Dr. Willie Wilson has brought these blessings 3 times in a row, the last 3 months, and being a part of it, being born in the Philippines, being able to see my people take advantage of, the blessings. This is actually my 9th month with Dr. Willie Wilson's Foundation. And a pure Pinay to represent, so we're hoping to be back again here. So, yeah.
Well, I thank you all. I know it's short interview, but I do hope to see you back in front of camera for Chicago Philippine Reports TV, longest running Filipino American show here of Veronica Layton. So thank you so much again. Happy Thanksgiving. If I don't see all of you, love to Dr. Wilson. Go out and vote after Thanksgiving, guys, and to Seafood City. Maraming salamat. Commissioner Boykin, maraming salamat.
Mabuhay Pilipinas!
Mabuhay ang Pilipinas! Mabuhay si Dr. Wilson!
Yes!
I'm Maria Curly Pascual. We'll see you back in studio. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you!
Thank you. Good morning! Welcome back to Seafood City. I have with me Sol and her group of volunteers for today. We'd like to remind you Seafood City and Dr. Willie Wilson has generously donated $25 gift cards for the people for Thanksgiving. And he gave us a beautiful Thanksgiving message for which, we as Filipino Americans are grateful for. So Sol, anong masasabi natin today?
Yeah, we're very thankful for those who come today. This morning it's very cold, but you're still here. Thank you so much for the support, and you are always welcome at Seafood City. Seafood City is where you're home away from home.
Tama. And kung nagtataka kayo kung sino yung mga nasa paligid ko, itong ating magaganda at mga gwapong kababayan na magagaling sumayaw, magagaling mag-volunteer, at parating masaya. So what do we say? Mabuhay, Dr. Willie Wilson! Mabuhay, Seafood City! At huwag nyo kaming kalimutan, mabuhay, Cprtv! Happy, mabuhay! Mabuhay Indakan Group and Dance Lovers! Ang dami ng And there you have it. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and be safe. Enjoy your families. Enjoy the blessings that God has given you. Thank you, thank you. We'll see you back in studio. Maraming salamat po.
We would like to welcome all of you to Baladna Jewelry. We have a very big selection of 21 karat gold jewelry imported from the Middle East, from Dubai, Saudi, and Bahrain. And we have a very big selection of diamond. We offer free financing for 6 months, and we have a layaway system which you can leave your stuff for 3 months. We repair gold and we buy old gold. Welcome to Baladna Jewelry.
Salamat po. Hello, good day, Cprtv viewers. This is Pastor Ed from Faith Family Worship Center, Chicago, Illinois, coming to you with our devotion for this month, for our Thanksgiving celebration. And for our devotion, I just chose Psalm 100. And there are only 5 passages here, but they are very powerful, very uplifting, and very encouraging. And I'll start with verse 1. Shout for joy to the Lord, all the earth. Worship the Lord with gladness. Come before him with joyful songs. Know that the Lord is God. It is he who made us, and we are his. We are his people, the sheep of his pasture. And then verse 4 and 5. Enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him and praise his name. For the Lord is good and his love endures forever. His faithfulness continues through all generations. This is such a beautiful psalm, a great meditation for us during this Thanksgiving month, especially when we celebrate Thanksgiving Day at the last Thursday of this month. And it starts off with a very joyful, upbeat words of worship. And this psalm encourages us to shout, be loud and be noisy, and just be ecstatic about our worship to the God who made us, who created us, and who poured out so much blessings unto us. So he said, shout for joy, worship the Lord with gladness, come before him with joyful songs. And when you start to realize how much God has blessed us, yes, there is an economic downturn, and there are so many pressures in this life. And we just had the pandemic the last couple of years, and it's still ongoing. People are still getting sick, and perhaps you're asking the question, what is there to thank God for? Well, first of all, you're listening to this devotion, and we are alive and we are breathing, and thank God that He has given us another day, another month to live for Him and for His glory. We only have a couple more months left for this year 2022, and the Lord willing, we will welcome the year 2023 soon. And so there is reason for celebration. There is reason for rejoicing. And then verse 3, it says, know that the Lord is God. It is He who made us, and we are His. We are His people, the sheep of His pasture. And so why are we rejoicing, and why are we being joyful? It's because the Lord is God. He sits on the throne. He's still the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and everything is under His control. And He's not walking about and just pacing the floor and wringing His hands and don't know what to do. No, He still sits on the throne. Psalm 46 verse 10 says, be still and know that I am God. And then it says in verse 3, it is He who made us, and we are His, and we are His people, the sheep of His pasture. This pictures God as a shepherd who compassionately and tenderly cares for us. And, He has provided so much for us, and He has protected us and healed us from so many sicknesses and diseases. And, He deserves our worship. He deserves our praise, because like a shepherd, He takes care of our needs. And this reminds me of what David said in Psalm 23 verse 1. He said, the Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not want. And then verse 4, it says, enter His gates with thanksgiving and His courts with praise. Give thanks to Him and praise His name. So you'll see the word thanksgiving is reiterated not just once, but twice. And it's important to approach God with a grateful heart. Especially as we celebrate Thanksgiving this month. Let's give glory to Him. Let's give thanks to Him because of what He has done and what He continues to do for us, for our families, for our children. And He has blessed us with jobs and health and you name it, daily provisions, food on the table, a roof over our head. Those are things that we need to be grateful for. And then verse 5, the last verse says, for the Lord is good, and His love endures forever. His faithfulness continues through all generations. This is the unchanging character of God. We worship God not only for what He has done for us or what He has given us, but we worship Him for who He is. That He is good, that His love endures forever, and that His faithfulness continues through all generations. That's the kind of God that we serve. That's the kind of God that we have. And so I pray that you will come to know this God, this loving, faithful God, through a personal relationship with His Son, Jesus. Jesus died for you on the cross so that you may be reconciled back to the Father. And all we have to do is to trust in what Jesus has done for us at the cross, dying for our sins and forgiving us from all of our sins the moment we come to Him and we confess our sins and we repent and we accept Him by faith that He is our Savior and that He is our Lord. And that's when we obtain a good and right relationship with God. So God bless you, my brothers and sisters, friends. Psalm 100, this is a Thanksgiving song. And look at it again and read through these 5 passages. They will bless you and they will redirect your thoughts to the Creator of all things, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the all-powerful, all-knowing, all-present God. And that's the object of our Thanksgiving. God bless you, and until next time.
Do you need to get your hands on some extra money right now? Maybe $25,000 or more? If you're a homeowner, now is the perfect time to get cash out. While homes in many neighborhoods like yours have gone up in value, you can use the money for anything. It's yours. You can buy an investment property, pay for college, pay off higher interest debt, or make home improvements. A cash out refinance is the perfect solution to get the cash you need. If you need $25,000, $50,000, or even $100,000, now's the time. Home values are up, and so is your equity. We offer you a way to use it. No need to sell your home or use your savings. Call New American Funding now and speak to a cash out refi specialist and see how much cash out you can get.
Call New American Funding at 855-332-3929. That's 855-332-3929. Call 855-332-3929.
Good afternoon, this is Bridget Karina Quetta bringing you this week's local news from our community. The Illinois Student Assistance Commission, the state's college access and financial aid agency, is pleased to announce the 2023-24 Illinois State Scholars. These high-achieving students are selected annually based on their ACT or SAT exams and 6th semester class rank and are recognized for their exceptional academic achievement. The scholars rank in approximately the top 10% of graduates from Illinois high schools. More than 16,770 students from 690 high schools were selected for this prestigious honor. While the previous 2 COVID-affected Thanksgivings were like no other, it appears families will perhaps have to wait another year before the traditional holiday get-togethers return to some sense of normality. This year's celebration will not be muted by a global coronavirus, but by a surge in food prices. Indeed, inflation has wreaked havoc in U.S. food prices, with a rise of 11.2% on all food costs registered this September compared to last year, and the cost of home groceries in particular soaring by 13%. For this reason, it appears many families will either forego some of their usual traditional dishes or cut back on how many people will be invited to this year's festivities. That is, according to a comprehensive study by USCO, a new free app which lets users analyze their Amazon spending, including seeing how much products they regularly buy have gone up due to inflation. With COVID-19 cases and other respiratory viruses circulating in many areas of the state, the Illinois Department of Public Health, IDPH, is urging Illinoisans to take precautions and celebrate the Thanksgiving holiday safely without spreading the virus to family and friends. In addition to being fully vaccinated and boosted for COVID-19 and the flu, IDPH encourages the public to get tested before attending holiday gatherings, especially if you're visiting someone at high risk for severe COVID-19, to stay home if you are sick, and to practice good hand hygiene. In addition, holiday hosts are urged to ensure gatherings are well ventilated. These safety reminders come as the CDC is reporting 21 Illinois counties at an elevated community level for COVID-19. IDPH is reporting 13,659 new confirmed and probable cases of COVID-19 in Illinois, and 48 deaths since November 11th. While not always popular, Nancy Pelosi has been a consistent force in American politics for nearly 40 years. Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who shattered the marble ceiling to become the first woman to lead the U.S. House, announced recently she will step down from party leadership. With great confidence in our caucus, I will not seek re-election to Democratic leadership in the next Congress. For me, the hour has come for a new generation to lead the Democratic caucus that I so deeply respect, Pelosi said in a speech on the House floor. I'm grateful that so many are ready and willing to shoulder this awesome responsibility. Pelosi said she will continue to represent her San Francisco district in the House. Governor Pritzker and the Illinois Department of Commerce and the Economic Opportunity announced $5 million in state-funded matching grants for businesses who have received federal funding through the Small Business Innovation Research or Small Business Technology Transfer programs. The federal SBIR and STTR programs provide grants for research and development, R&D, to small businesses to encourage private sector innovation in emerging technologies. R&D represents a critical business expense that can be costly and presents a potential risk for small businesses that don't have large sums of capital. By providing grants that support R&D, the programs encourage innovation in emerging technologies that could benefit the federal government as well as the commercial marketplace. Illinois is known for our innovative spirit and leadership in emerging technologies, said Governor J.B. Pritzker. That's all for today. Thank you for watching our news this week. This is Bridget. See you next time.
Yan! Dito na! Perfect!
And that's our show for today. Thank you all for watching Chicago Philippine Reports TV. We hope you will stay safe and enjoying this day with your family and friends. I'm Maria Girly Pascual. Maraming salamat sa inyong pagsubaybay and we'll see you back here next week.